Beep, beep. Hey guys, Tara here for Rev3 Games, and I just got a chance to check out Sunset Overdrive, one of the games I've been looking forward to most on the Xbox One. This is from Insomniac Games. They actually started working on this right after they finished Resistance, which is pretty much the opposite game of Sunset Overdrive. The story is basically, it's the year 2027. It's in a city called Sunset City, and a company called Fizzco has released this energy drink, Overcharged Delirium XT. They actually gave us one. I'm pretty sure it's just Red Bull. And the story opens on the release party of this energy drink. The main character is a guy who's just working a temp job at this party surrounded by crappy people. And in order to hit the shelf date for this drink, the company has had to basically brute force their way through FDA testing. So this stuff is just fucking everyone up. People are turning into mutants and zombies. They went over a little bit about the enemies in the game. A lot of the enemies are like those creepy orange guys you saw from the trailer. They have a fair amount of variations on that. They have poppers, which are enemies that explode. They have herkers, which are like the big sort of mini-boss mutants. All of the enemies are super fast, which is great because the entire basis of the gameplay is all about momentum and aggressive. Like, you have to adopt a really, really aggressive playstyle for this. What's interesting is that the two, hilariously enough, the two main modes of movement are bounce and grind. So you can grind on a ton of surfaces in the game, and you can also bounce on everything, even things that you should not be able to bounce on, like bushes. They actually said that you could progress from the very start of the game into the very end and never actually once touch the ground. And they have some really cool environments here. The one that we checked out during our live demo was a big amusement park with a roller coaster and all kinds of amusement park rides that have special sort of weapons built into them. And then you have your own weapons, and a lot of them are kind of like the weapons you might see in a game like Dead Rising. In fact, this entire game is very reminiscent of Dead Rising. The best way I can describe it would be, imagine if Suda51 made a Dead Rising game that was just completely balls out weird. All the enemies are super bizarre and have really strange personalities. It's really awesome, and it's the kind of game that you can tell the developers were just like, you know what? Screw it. I want to make a really, really fun game. It doesn't matter if the story makes sense. It doesn't matter if there's continuity. Like, we just want people to have a really fun time playing this. And so it seems like they've succeeded on that front. So it's really the kind of game that rewards you for playing in a crazy balls out manner. They have a style meter in the top right corner of the screen that looks like a little lightning bolt. And so the crazier stuff you do, the more you grind and bounce and all of that kind of stuff, the more your style meter goes up. And it has to, like I said, momentum is a huge pillar of the game. So you have to keep that up in order to keep the style meter up. What the style meter does is when it fills up, there are 4 little notches, and when each notch fills up, you get to use something called an amp. And amps are another huge part of the game. They're basically custom character abilities, so you can modify your weapons and things like that. You can put like a lightning mod on a weapon, and all of those things will carry over to the multiplayer, which is called Chaos Squad, which is an 8-player multiplayer mode. You can enter the multiplayer mode at any time throughout the campaign just by visiting a phone booth, which is actually a fun little nod to Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Lots of little nods like that throughout the game. But the Chaos Squad seems especially cool because it's not done in a typical multiplayer style. By the way, it's totally online. You cannot do co-op, unfortunately. But basically the way it works is you are led on a series of multiplayer missions. Each one changes every time, so you're never going to experience the same series of missions twice. And every round you complete, the entire team gets to vote on the next round that they want to play from a choice of 2 rounds. So everybody gets a say in what kind of missions you do, and it's got kind of a risk-reward thing where one of the rounds will be a little bit easier, but you'll also get less rewards for it. And then every round ends with something called a night defense mode, which is where it's at night, the enemies are a little crazier, and you basically have to defend a map from enemies. Everything I saw was really impressive. For being Insomniac's first open world game, I think this is going to be really, really good, and I think people who aren't necessarily expecting to like it are going to be really pleasantly surprised. One other cool thing that I do want to mention that they are doing is that there are TVs scattered throughout the game, and they will actually be live broadcasting stuff to those televisions in-game. I don't know how they do that. I don't know what technology allows for that kind of thing to happen. But they say it's a way for people to get news from the community and about the game without having to actually go through a separate website. So that is awesome. So yeah, even if you're not interested in this game necessarily, I still think you should give it a chance because it is so fast-paced. It's so fun. There's a lot going for it, and the story is just silly. I mean, if you like silly stuff, then there's no reason not to play this game. And it's coming out October 28th, so look forward to that this fall. I feel like every single awesome game is coming out this fall, so I guess that's what I'm going to be doing all October and September and November. So like I have said many times before, we have a ton of show floor coverage from E3 this week, so please stay tuned because we are going to have way more in the coming days.